the guy who I assaulted, and he tried to I had like shorts. It was summertime, and I had shorts on. And he tried to rub up my leg, and the witness said that I just took that knife off the table and cut him a couple times. But I don't really remember. I don't remember that. I had blacked out. I told my brother, like, I said, bro, only thing I want right now, if I make parole, only thing I want right now is a good, I said, I want some Applebee's.
And we are about to watch the Connecticut parole hearing of a man who was given a 12-year sentence for that stabbing, but the judge, for whatever reason, suspended 6 of the years. So he's got a maximum of 6-year sentence. And I'll tell you, we have seen so many crimes in the state of Connecticut. To get 12 years on what ended up being a plea deal of first-degree assault only makes me guess that it could have easily been an attempted homicide charge. So he got a gift. Now, whether or not he had a right to do it, if his claim is true that the man was going to do the unimaginable to him and he was defending himself, that's possible. You never know. But let's watch the parole hearing, and maybe you can be the judge of that. And with that, let's jump in.
State your name and inmate number for the record.
Huh?
Can you please state your name and inmate number for the record?
Joseph Newkirk, 288-309.
Thank you. This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for Joseph Newkirk, 288-309. He is serving a sentence of 12 years execution suspended after 6 years and 5 years probation for assault first. As of today, records reflect a parole eligibility date of June 11th of 25. There is no victim input in this case. There is an offender accountability plan for the offender. It has been reviewed and shows that the offender has completed mental health groups and he holds a facility job. Utilizing the statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system, the offender scores within the moderate range risk for recidivism. Mr. Newkirk, this is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole. You may begin, sir.
The reason why I think I should be able to get parole is because I had a job. I've been working on my life, reading books and stuff like that, going to school, making sure my life is good, and I don't want to come back to jail anymore. So I talked to my kids. Sorry, I'm a little nervous, but I just would like to go home. I just think I think that I got a lot to prove.
Okay, Mr. Newkirk, we appreciate that statement. We have some questions for you. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Sappo.
Good morning, Mr. Newkirk.
Good morning.
You
Can
just
I
mentioned.
say something real fast?
Sure.
I was nervous. Like I have a bad time speaking on camera. That's why I didn't get to be able to say what I wanted to, what I'm not able to say.
Well, you can you feel free to say what it is that you'd like us to know, Mr. Newkirk.
And I also been out of trouble. I haven't caught any tickets, any DRs in 5 years. I've been ticket free, and even when I got assaulted, I didn't fight back. I got assaulted twice, and I didn't fight back because I wanted to be able to try to make parole and try to see my kids. I had this job that I got in the block. I got this job for 4 years. I've been going to school. I do whatever I got to do to make my life better on the outside. I write to my mom every day. I talk to my mom. I talk to my brothers. My brothers, they big support system, and I got a lot of support system out there. I got a couple kids that I got 3 kids that I talk to every other day. They're doing good in school, and I'll be teaching them stuff like not to become like me, coming back and forth with the judicial system. Me personally, I think I should get parole because I never out of all my incarcerations, I never received parole out of all my incarcerations because I was classified as an SRG member, and I denounced myself. And now that I got a bunch of enemies in jail because I denounced my colors.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
good morning, Mr. Newkirk.
Good morning.
So thank you for those additional comments, 'cause they're helpful to understand, what you're thinking while you've been incarcerated. You mentioned in your statement that you don't want to go back in after this one is done. But you've been in several times before this incarceration. So can you just talk to me a little bit about what's going to be different this time besides, you're working on your life and you want to see your kids? What does your release plan look like? What are you going to do? And where are you going to go?
Well, I was planning on going to if I was to make parole, I was planning on making parole to the Dana House. And I got a job. My brother said he's going to try to give me a job at his job. And the reason why I think that I won't reoffend is because I got my mind on straight. Before I didn't have my mind, I just turned 40 years old. I'm not getting any younger. It's time for me to stop playing around and stop going back to jail because my kids is getting bigger. My daughter said to me, she said, "Dad, if you come back to jail, Mommy said she ain't gonna let you talk to us anymore." And I think that's a big motivation for me to talk to my kids and be there for my kids and be there for myself also. I found out that I don't want to die in prison, and I'm not trying to die in prison. I'm not trying to have any fights with anybody, and the reason why I committed the assault first is because the guy, we was all high, and plus I'm trying to stay sober. That's number one. My main goal was to stay sober, because I do crazy stuff when I'm high. But when we was high on PCP, we was high on weed, and he was high for crack. The guy who I assaulted, and he tried to rape me. Like I had like shorts. It was summertime, and I had shorts on. And he tried to rub up my leg, and the witness said that I just took that knife off the table and cut him a couple times. But I don't really remember. I don't remember that. I have blacked out. I suffer from mental health.
Yeah. So we do have all of the reports, including your medical reports. So we're familiar with the conditions. So you don't have to say a lot about them on camera because we've read it. So your drug use obviously is contributed to the problems that you've had. You did not have the opportunity to take an addiction services program while you've been in. Have you taken them in the past?
They have in this jail only like the block that I'm on. I can't go to a different block because I'm on a low mental health block. I'm not able to go to a different block or maybe to a different place and do like groups. I only can do groups on a block.
So the groups that you are doing on your block, have you talked about and have you received guidance about your drug use in the past?
Yeah, I'm taking anger management classes.
Okay.
And I'm taking anger management classes and dual diagnosis classes when they talk about drugs, and I talk to like when we in group, I open up in group about how I would like to get off of drugs and stuff like that, because when I'm on drugs, I don't like the way I am on drugs. My family said, Joe, you could come around if you're not on drugs. So my family is my big motivation right now, and that's what I want. I want my family in my life because I feel like I'm all alone. But I talked to my mom on the phone, and my mom said, "We love you, but before I pass away, or before I'm dead and gone, I want to see that you on the right path, like your brothers. Because my brothers is in and out the system too. And my brothers, but I'm not gonna explain that. But my brothers, they doing good now. One of them got a pardon. I'm trying to be the same way."
So obviously you know that when you are on medications to make you feel good and to make sure that your conditions are being helped, that any other types of drugs like PCP, marijuana, that's only going to mess you up. So you know that, right?
Yes, I know. I know now.
Okay. So what is your plan when you're back in the community to make sure that you're taking all of the meds that you're supposed to? Who's going to help you with that? What's the plan at the Dana House and beyond?
Well, my plan, if I do make parole, hopefully I do. My goal is to stick with demons. I want to stick with demons because when I don't know if y'all got the records, but in 2008, I got out of jail in 2008, and I was put in demons. I was in Hartford. I got put on demons, and I had got an apartment. I wasn't on drugs for 4 years. I lasted for 4 years from 2008 to 2012. I wasn't doing drugs or anything like that, and I wasn't in jail or anything, and I was just doing good. And then I stopped doing. I started hanging around the wrong crowd. I started letting drug addicts live in my apartment, and then demons stopped helping me because I stopped going to appointments and stuff like that, and I just fell off track.
So I think one of the concerns that we have, Mr. Newkirk, is what's going to prevent that from happening again, where you start out doing really good and then something happens and you make bad decisions. How are we going to stop that cycle? Because this is your 5th incarceration.
You are trash, Lindsay. You are trash.
Well, one thing I could tell you is that I'm motivated. That's the only thing I can say. That I'm motivated and that I'm ready to have a chance. I never had a chance of parole before, and I'm just looking for that one chance just to try to get out and try to further my life and try to further my life for my kids, work for my life for my family, for the life for myself. I'm just asking, please consider me getting parole. I'm not gonna sit here and beg. I'm just saying that I deserve an extra chance, like one last chance.
Where are your family members located and your kids? What city? Where are they?
I got one kid in New Haven. And I got 2 in Hartford.
And what do you think some of your trigger areas are? Would be Waterbury is an area that is not good for you. Is Hartford not good for you? Where do you foresee yourself being successful versus not successful in the community?
I see myself now. I see myself successful now around people that I know already. I'm trying to get a fresh start. I don't want to go around people that I know that's using drugs and stuff like that. I need a fresh start. Like Dana House would be a fresh start for me. So I'll be in New Haven. I already don't know people like that in New Haven. My kid is in New Haven, but I don't know nobody else. I got no friends in New Haven. I don't got nowhere to get drugs in New Haven, even though there's drugs all over the place, but there's no connection that I got with drugs and stuff like that in New Haven.
What else can the Dana House do for you that you know about?
That it can help me management. I got an old sonny my sonny, he used to be in the Dana House before, and he told me that that they run groups there. He said that they run groups there, and that is that they are locked down. You only way they'll let you leave is if you going out to look for a job and stuff like that. They don't let you just go out. And he said, and I take my medication management, make sure my meds is there. Like because if I'm free, like when I was out there, I was taking my meds. I stopped taking my meds. But I think once I'm out there this time, I think that I'll be able to take my meds and take them every single day. Like you could, you say you already know about me in here, but I've been locked up for 5 years. I did not miss my medication, not one day. Not one day did I miss my medication. Because I'm real focused. I'm real focused this time.
How do you feel with 5 years of being sober under your belt? How does it make you feel?
It makes me feel great. My brother, I told my brother said, yo, bro, you shouldn't even smoke cigarettes. I used to like cigarettes and stuff like that, and a beer. I told my brother, like, I said, bro, only thing I want right now, if I make parole, only thing I want right now is a good, I said, I want some Applebee's. And my brother said, bro, we're not gonna give you the Applebee's, we're gonna give you a nice cooked meal. So I just love my family. I just want to get home to my family. That's it.
Thank you for talking to me, Madam Chair.
Yeah.
Thank you. Ms. Turner?
I have no questions for Mr. Newkirk.
Yeah.
Why not Olive Garden?
Right.
What
You
you
said, why
say?
not Olive
I
Garden?
said, why not Olive Garden?
You are trash.
Oh, I
You
ate
know,
at
when you're
Olive.
there, your family.
I ate at Olive Garden before. Reason why I don't like Olive Garden because I get full of their breadsticks.
Oh, all right. Yeah, that's a problem.
They give you unlimited breadsticks, and by the time the main course come, I'm full already. Yeah.
That's true. Me too. All right. Give us a few minutes to talk about your case. Ms. Stackle?
So Mr. Newkirk does have a little bit of a criminal history that we've all seen. He scores moderate on the risk to recidivate. He would have a approximate 6-month period of discretionary parole, which is going to be followed by 5 years of probation based on his parole eligibility date. Today, I think I see someone in front of us who has been incarcerated for 5 years. And during that time, he has, in a structured environment, has learned to be medically compliant, has a release plan that includes continuing that structure with a halfway house placement, preferably somewhere that he knows what the structure is. He specified the Dana House. He has the potential of a job with his brother's employment. He is committing to his sobriety and is motivated by his family and his children and his age, knowing that a significant amount of his life has been spent behind bars at this point. I'm willing to grant release today based on what we've seen here today in terms of offender change.
Thank you, Ms. Stackle. Ms. Turner?
I am in agreement. He's spent half his life with criminal justice system involvement, and I hear that he wants more for the rest of his life, and I wish him much success.
Thank you.
So, Madam Chair, I had started to check off. We have a victim, LH, halfway house placement. I wasn't sure about alcohol.
I just had the mental health, the treatment and medication compliant.
Okay, and that was my second question, you one of the mental health. So mental health, treatment, and medication compliance.
Ms. Turner, do you have?
Yeah, I actually had no alcohol because on his mental health evaluation, there was an indication of daily use.
Okay.
as a
Right.
problem.
So with regard to Joseph Newkirk, 288309, I move to grant discretionary parole on or after his earliest eligibility date, which is June 11, 2025, with the following conditions in addition to the standard parole conditions. You are to consume no alcoholic beverages. You are to have no contact with your victim, initials LH. You'll participate in mental health treatment and remain medication compliance, and you ask for a halfway house for residential placement. Did I say everything? There a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Right, this concludes the hearing. Oh, this concludes the hearing for Joseph Newkirk, number 288309. All right, you're all set,
You're
sir.
all set.
Am I granted? Excuse
Yes.
me, am I
Yes, you are.
granted? Thank
Yes.
you, thank you.
It's good. Oh, I love it. Don't drink the water in Connecticut. That's what I'm saying. And I gotta tell you, I went into this parole hearing just kind of angry about the whole situation, but he made me laugh throughout the entire hearing. I'm happy for him. I don't know. There's something about humor, and he made parole for laugh. And it was so natural. He's not playing it. You see, he's so nervous. His hand is shaking. I mean, that's what he said at the beginning. I'm nervous about the camera. I don't think it's anything else. And there was just something very authentic about him. I didn't think it was BS in the way he's talking to his mother every day, and he's telling it how important family is to him. He's got a twin brother, and he's like Applebee's over. I mean, come on, I pick Applebee's too every day before Olive Garden, right? But the reason he gave about the breadsticks, just oh, rumor has it he's still at Applebee's. Oh my gosh, I don't know. It's such an amazing thing because like I almost want to believe his story, how he was like, you know, maybe attacked by a guy who wanted to say him and he defended himself. I want to believe it. They say he spent half his life in prison and he's got a long record. And Lady Holly, you know, it's interesting because she has it in the notes. It's crazy how with his long record, but we don't see really much news stories about him. He has like small things, like he has second-degree forgery, fifth-degree larceny, you know, all the stuffs of an addict. But outside of the stabbing someone, well, let's see what he had. He has failure to appear. Does he have violation of protection? I forgot if they spoke about that. Interference with an officer. The assault first degree with serious physical. Oh, that's a stabbing though. I don't know. I'm rooting. I saw it. You know, they say that the doorway is someone's heart and soul. It might be through their stomach or it could be through laughter. I think for me, it's through laughter. I hope we don't see him again. I hope we don't. I don't know if we will, though. You know, it does seem that he actually does want it. It does seem that he has family support, which is special. But the problem is again, it's like repeat the same thing and expecting different results. But maybe, just maybe he's got it this time. And man, we'll jump into another hearing. So I don't know. I didn't see this full hearing the full way through. I didn't get to the Applebee part until I saw it in real time. And then I went back and put the insert in the front, right? But first I only had it about the shorts thing. So I just want to let you know, like my laughing is authentic. When I came to the end, even though I had the first Applebee part, I didn't then have this. I didn't listen to the second part until this was the first time I heard it with the when they're talking about Olive Garden. Oh God, I don't know. Why do I think it's so funny? I think it's funny, but okay, let's go watch the next one.
Adessi Tomas, 447560.
Thank you. This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for Adessi Tomas, number 447560. He is serving a sentence of 10 years, execution suspended after 2 years, 6 months, and 3 years probation for sales and 2 counts of possession. As of today, records reflect a parole eligibility date of April 23rd of 2025. There is no victim input in this case. There is an offender accountability plan for this offender. And it has been reviewed and shows that he has completed tier 2 voices and has a facility job with outside clearance. Utilizing the statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system, the offender's overall score falls within the moderate range risk for recidivism. Mr. Tomas, this is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole. You may begin, sir.
Dear members of the Parole Board of Pardons and Parole, I want to express my gratitude for the opportunity to speak with you today. Thank you for considering my case. I fully understand the actions that led to my incarceration, and I accept complete responsibility for my poor decisions. I sincerely apologize to the victims and their families for the harm that I have caused due to my choices. I also wish to extend my apologies to my family who has suffered because of my actions during my time in prison. I am truly sorry for the pain I have caused them. I firmly believe that everything happens for a reason, and I feel that my time in jail has saved me from my addiction to opiates. After losing my job during the pandemic, my life became increasingly difficult, and I resorted to selling drugs to support my Percocet addiction. During my first month in jail, I experienced withdrawals and began attending Narcotics Anonymous meetings. I also enrolled in a OAP program, including voices in Tier 2. In Tier 2, I focused intently on the material presented as it helped me understand the causes and effects of my drug use. I have lost family and friends to overdoses, and I do not want to face a similar fate. This program provided me with valuable insights that spurred my recovery, allowing me to understand myself better and pursue the real changes I need. My goal is to live a long life free from the grip of addiction. The Voices program deeply affected me by The Voices program deeply affected me by allowing me to view my crimes from the victim's perspective. It also made me realize the emotional damage and lasting pain my actions caused, not just in the pursuit of money, but also in the long-term suffering experienced by victims and their families. While in Cheshire Correctional Annex, I participated in a group initiated by another inmate called Man Up, which stands for Mental Awareness Nourishment Using Positive Principles. This self-reflect group focused on identifying the factors that led inner city men to commit crimes. This program has helped me greatly. If you grant me parole today, I plan to attend weekly Narcotics Anonymous meetings. I have also chosen a home group at a recovery community center located at 132 Grand Street in Waterbury, CT. I recognize that the overwhelming challenges to my sobriety lie ahead, and I understand that I need help with my opiate addiction to become a successful and productive member of society. First and foremost, I intend to enroll at Port in Cheshire on Wilkins Street in Waterbury, Connecticut, and pursuing Rig Weldon, while actively seeking a part-time job to further my education and provide myself with skills and capabilities to enhance my chances of success. Thank you once again for your opportunity today.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tomas, for that statement. You've covered a lot of ground in there. You did a great job with that. Why don't you have your GED?
Just growing up being hard-headed, not listening to my mother.
You are trash.
And I ended up dropping out of school. And
But did you write that opening statement yourself?
I had some help, but most of it was summed up by myself, and then people gave me a little insight to help me correct it. And
but if you could write like that, what, you should be in school. You sound like a very intelligent young man. So what's going to happen here, Mr. Tomas, is we're going to ask you some questions. When we're done, we'll deliberate and give you our decision, okay?
Sure thing.
Ms. Zappel, sorry.
Good afternoon, Mr. Tomas.
Good afternoon.
Do you know what the meaning is of when something is an irony?
Sort of, yes.
So it's hard for me to understand how you are actually a victim of the opioid epidemic that is just spiraling out of control in our country because of your pain pill addiction, which I read about and how it came to be. And then you actually turn around and you sell in the very community that has suffered at that point in time when the task force was tracking it, 93 opioid deaths to date that year that you were arrested. And then the next year, as you were headed to trial, Waterbury had already seen almost 65 deaths that year. And that's not even counting the overdoses. And you've referenced that you've lost friends and family to this scourge of addiction. So I have to assume, and I'm assuming here, that had to play a part in whatever light bulb moment you've had as a young man that you need to break your cycle. So can you talk a little bit more about all of that and your role in selling drugs and how that came to be?
Just once I was on Percocets and the pandemic hit and being addicted to Percocets, I couldn't support it with the job. So I seen how easy it was to sell drugs and get money. So I just decided to take the easy route out rather than continue looking for a job and doing everything the right way. Honestly, just I really don't.
I appreciate your honesty, because that is it. That's how it read based on what we have here. So I understand that, but I want to focus on a couple of the positive things. You're almost 28. You have a long life in front of you if you choose to take control of it.
Yes.
We've sat here all morning, Mr. Tomas, and we've seen people far older than you who have repeated this cycle time and time again, that are on their 4th or 5th incarceration, and they haven't been able to make that change. Why are you going to be different?
Because first and foremost, I refuse to be a statistic. I don't want to repeat coming in and out, and I don't want to disappoint my family as much as I did already. I want to show them that I can do right. And not just my family, a lot of other people, and even like my old friends. One of my friends looked at me before I came in and said, they call me Dutch, for it's a family name, said, "Hey, you're about to go in. This is about to be our life." And then now, when I looked at him and I had a light bulb, like, I can't be hanging around people like this, because they see this as something cool and they like coming in and out of prison, and this ain't nothing to look forward to. You miss everything in life. You're separated from your family, and there's so much that you miss. Like, I missed my niece being born. My brother got married, and like you guys said, I'm not a dumb person. I know I'm not dumb, but the decisions I made in life is dumb. And now I'm actually able to sit back and look at the decisions I made and realize how to change them. And I just got to continue on the right path. And I know it's going to be hard. There's going to be a lot of distractions. The devil's going to be knocking at my door. But if I keep forward and stay with the right crowd and stay with people that want the best for me, there shouldn't be no problems.
In your opening statement, you did a very nice job of apologizing to victims and their families and your family. But who were the victims? Can you enumerate to me who those victims are? Who did you hurt by what you did?
I hurt the people I was selling drugs to, pumping the poison into the streets, and by hurting them, I hurt their family also, because I also seen the pain my family was going through when I was addicted to the opiates, the stealing and the lying, and honestly, I overdosed twice before, so it's like after them overdoses, I seen what it really causes, and just the pain that everybody goes through, and it really made me open my eyes. Like, this is not cool. It's not fun. This shouldn't be for nobody. Like, drugs ain't meant to cause harm. They're meant to help people. Not drugs, but prescribed drugs, and they're not meant to be fun. They're not meant to have a good time with it. If you take it, you're taking in pain. You don't have fun with it. You're not supposed to.
In terms of your employment, it looked like you had a factory job at one point.
Yes.
What else did you do for employment, Mr. Thomas?
I did some other jobs. I worked at other little factories worked at fast food spots, but the realest job I had was at that factory. Other than that, it was just little part-time jobs. That's all really. Yeah.
Did you have difficulty keeping jobs? Did you move around a lot?
Not really. Like every job I went to, they liked me. They always hired me, especially if it was through a temp or something. But I just always wanted to find something better or find something that paid more. Or if I get into a little argument with somebody when I was younger and I would quit. But when I got into the last factory job, I was there for a while. I worked my way up the ladders. I got into a good position, and I knew I was coming to prison, so I quit. So I stopped working there for.
Okay. In some of your discussions about your programs, you used the word recovery,
Yes.
which is the appropriate word because recovery denotes everything that you've done to get to this point, but also what you need to do moving forward because it's a never-ending process. So tell me about who some of those devils might be that you referenced coming to knock at your door.
So like I said, it's hanging out with the old crowd. I realized like the people that I was hanging out with before I came in, there was no good. They don't want no positivity. They don't see themselves going nowhere further in life. They're comfortable with where they're at. They're comfortable what they're doing. And like them being comfortable shows me that they don't want to excel in life and they don't want to further their education or further their careers in anything. And I don't want to be like them. Like I look at my older brother and he has a great career. Yeah, he's tired, but he has a big house, nice car. His family's happy, married. And I realized I could do the same thing. I got to push myself. I have to apply myself. I can't give up on myself.
Oh, those are all very good insights. You also have a job right now with outside clearance, which is not easy to get and not easy to keep. So why don't you talk a little bit about that outside clearance job?
Well, I work at CTSD, so we were around a lot of public. And when they hired me, they said that I was a good candidate because I'm respectful in my attitude. You know, I uplift everybody in the dorms, and so they put me there. And once I got there, I was grateful for being there because so my first shift CO is Maldonado, and I've learned a lot from him while over there. Now I know how to run zero-turn lawnmowers, stuff that I never used to do at home. So like refurbished wood. Right now I'm working on refurbishing old furniture. I didn't never know how to do that. So it's new stuff that I'm learning and that I can take with me and apply in the real world. Little stuff trades that I can pick up on.
Okay. And how have you managed to stay out of trouble within the facility? You have 0 disciplinary tickets at this point. How did you manage that?
Just keeping my cool and knowing there's a bigger picture. Like, there's a lot of emotions going around in the dorm. Everybody has feelings. Everybody missing family, and sometimes some stuff do come up, little arguments and stuff. But I always focus on the bigger picture, focus on my family, and it's not worth getting into a fight in here. I have nothing to prove to nobody in here but my family. So when they talk or they get crazy, I just back myself up, and I stick with the crowd that doesn't necessarily cause trouble. I stick with everybody that stays in their own lane, mind their business, and I hang out with them. And everybody else that like being abruptive, cussing at the CEO and everything, I just don't have nothing to do with them.
You've never been on parole before, right?
No, it's my first time.
Okay. What is your understanding of what will happen when that commences upon whenever you are released?
I have strict guidelines I have to follow, that I have to adhere to. I have to work. I have to just do what I have to do, what being told, and stay out of trouble. Stay clean. Whatever groups they have, I have to be going. They tell me to go to, and just do everything the right way.
So back in the day when you didn't listen to your mother, there were obviously repercussions for that, right?
So, yep.
If you don't listen to your probation officer, Mr. Tomas, there's worse ones. You come back exactly where you are right now. So that person, whoever is assigned to you, is going to play a big role in your life for 3 years.
Yes.
They can help you. if you need it, or they can hurt you. And it's really up to you to use them appropriately.
Yes,
Thank you for talking to me.
thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Apple. Ms. Turner, your microphone's muted, by the way.
I have no questions for
Thank you.
Mr. Tomas.
Thank you. So at this time, Mr. Tomas, we don't have any other questions for you. We're going to deliberate and give you our decision, okay?
All
Ms.
right,
Apple.
thank you.
So Mr. Tomas, I think, for someone his age and what he's done in terms of his, involvement with drug sales and possession has shown an incredible amount of insight for his age. And, that coupled with his, lack of discipline within the facility, his, relevant programming that he's taken, as well as, showing everybody that he was responsible and has been assigned a job with outside clearance with a very good letter of recommendation, plus a release plan that has some detail to it and family support, I would be willing to grant parole today.
Thank you, as would I. Ms. Turner?
I am on
I
board.
have standard conditions.
Actually, I want to list the co-defendants from the weapons case 2021 in Waterbury.
Can you tell me the names, please?
Sure. Pedro Vera,
April.
Jose Cruz Goody, and Sebastian Oliveria. They were all arrested with him.
So with regard to RDC Tomas 447560, I move to grant discretionary parole on or after your earliest eligibility date, which is April 23rd, 2025, with the following conditions in addition to the standard parole conditions. You are to have no contact with Pedro Vera, Jose Cruz Goody, or Sebastian Oliveira. Those are people that were arrested with you in your weapons of conviction. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All right, congratulations, sir. You've been granted parole. Good luck to you.
Thank you, guys.
This concludes the hearing for Adessi Tomas, number 447560. All right, congratulations, sir.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
I don't know. Maybe I'm in a good mood from the laughing before, from the the whole Olive Garden conversation. But I really enjoyed that hearing. I didn't think it was BS at first. When he's reading it, I'm wondering. We always wonder this. If this is like an inside chat thing. If you don't know where the joke is on the inside in the Mandalorian community, it's like, oh, how many honey buns did he pay for that one? To have the letter written. And oftentimes they do. They're paying. They're paying the jailhouse lawyer to write them a letter, but the parole board knew, and that's because really everything that he has going for him, right? The no write-ups, the programs, having outside the facility job. So it's all the boxes were checked, and it was authentic too. I felt, he didn't even BS around. It was like, yeah, well, why did he sell? Well, because he got hooked up on it, and what you got, oftentimes people do, they got to sell to keep their thing going. And I don't know, there's not really much on this guy. It seems that he was busted twice. So it wasn't like they got him and then locked him up and said, you're going to do a prison stint. It looks like they got him, gave him like a so I'll tell you what it was. Lady Holly has it in here. So he's arrested on November 20th, 2020. And it was possession with intent to distribute. Then he must have made bond or something. It's not clear, but he's arrested again on 5/26/2021 for sales of narcotics. And then I show another one, 4/8/2022, possession with intent to distribute. So it looks like Connecticut was letting him get away with it for 3 straight years before a judge said enough's enough. They gave him a 10-year prison sentence, but suspended after 3 years probation. Not even suspended after 3 years, suspended after 30 months. So now he's made the best of his time. I think it's important for us to see these parole hearings because there are those that come in and do make the best of their time. What was it again? don't let time serve you, don't serve time, right? And I think I said that right. And it's important for us to see it on every aspect. I don't think he was BSing. I'm rooting for him. He is an intelligent guy, and hopefully he can keep his head on straight and make the best of it, right? Right? I mean, I don't have empathy for those who sell, that crap. It's poison. I have a very close relative of mine who is, like my closest friend, who passed away because some dude sold him something he didn't know what it was, and this was a long time ago. This was before it was a thing. This was before anybody was talking about it. A long time ago. When was it? 20 years ago, I think. So I don't have a lot of room there for. It's not like I'm no bleeding heart for dealers, but I think that this guy, I do think that this might be an example of the system working. We're about to watch another parole hearing. I haven't seen this one either. I'm seeing this in real time with y'all. I'm going to have this spreadsheet. I have like information that Lady Holly's included, but there's not a lot of information she actually has on this guy serving time. That he must be the new kid on the block, because there's not much on him, and usually we're used to seeing a lot. Now this guy that we're about to see, he ain't no new kid on the block. But I haven't seen his hearing yet, but he's also a dealer. So it'll be interesting to compare the two to see how they each handle it. Again, I haven't seen it. I'm not doing foreshadowing. I don't know. This might just be anticlimactic, but let's go jump in and I'll unpack with what details I have.
You had 10 opportunities, failed 7. At 53 years old, you rate out high in terms of risk to recidivate. You overall have accumulated 14 disciplinary infractions throughout your total periods of incarceration. This is the first time that you have not had any. You've taken similar programs that you've taken now in this.
Now, I don't know about you, but I receive dozens of spam calls per day. So many that I had to set my phone to only allow calls from known numbers. Basically, if the contact isn't saved in my phone, I won't get the call. So this, of course, created so many problems. I actually didn't have my mother-in-law saved to my phone, so that's a story that we can get into at another time, but not good. And of course, it created issues with business calls. So I was kind of just stuck between a rock and a hard place. I get so many calls nonstop. I mean, the vast majority of the phone calls that I receive are spam calls. It drives me nuts. But then that's what I found Aura, the sponsor of today's video. And I am proud to say that Aura is sponsoring Mandoo. So I wanted to understand how my personal information was ending up in the hands of these spammers, and more importantly, how I would put a stop to it. With Aura, I receive alerts whenever my personal data is being sold on the dark web or by data brokers. Not only that, but Aura automatically removes my information from these data broker websites and helps me take action if it's exposed on the dark web. Now, this is especially crucial right now, given the recent AT&T data breach, where over 73 million customers were released on the dark web. AT&T recommends using strong passwords, monitoring account activity, and considering credit freezes or fraud alerts from credit bureaus. Well, guess what? Aura does all of that for me. And the best part is I don't have to juggle multiple apps just because a company failed to keep my data secure. Aura is always looking in the background, ensuring my safety online so I can focus on what matters most without constantly worrying about my personal information falling into the wrong hands. I value my privacy, as you all know. I'm probably one of the more private YouTubers out there, and I value yours too. You can go to aura.com. I have my link below in the description to start your 2 free-week trial. And as I think the idea that we have such a renowned, prestigious, incredible company backing Mandoo, backing our channel, backing this is, I think, just a massive breakthrough. And if we can show support to them, that would be huge. Now, I didn't just do this ad. I actually signed up for a full month with their service to see if it really works before I would recommend it to all of you. And it does. I am getting a fraction of the spam calls. I got 2 today when I usually get 15, 16. So it's already made a massive difference. And if you want to help support the channel, you can use the link below. If you want to help support Aura, you can use the link below. You want to stop those spam calls and sleep a little bit better at night, you can use the link below. And with that, we'll go back into the hearing.
Mr. Bagley, how are you?
Good morning, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Are you ready for your hearing?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, great. Good afternoon. My name is Parole Officer McLizzie. Today is Thursday, February 13th, 2025. This is a hearing of the Connecticut Board of Pardons and Paroles. The following board members are present today and by stating their names on the record, certify that they've reviewed all statutorily required documents and pertinent information in preparation of this hearing.
Good afternoon. I'm panel member Barry.
I'm Ellen Zappo-Sasu.
Nancy Turner, good afternoon.
Sir, could you please state your name and inmate number for the record?
My name is Sean Bagley. My inmate number is 168462.
Thank you. This is a hearing being conducted in consideration of the parole application for Sean Bagley, number 168462. He is serving a sentence of 7 years, execution suspended after 30 months, and 3 years probation for possession with intent to sell, evading responsibility, and illegal operation of a motor vehicle without an IID. As of today, records reflect a parole eligibility date of February 19th of 2025. There is no victim input in this case. There is an offender accountability plan for the offender. It has been reviewed and shows that the offender has completed Tier 2 voices. He participated in the change unit at Cygolski, Addictive Lifestyles Transition Group, CCAR Recovery Coach Academy, and CCAR Ethical Considerations. Utilizing the statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system, the offender's overall risk falls within the high range of risk for recidivism. Mr. Bagley, this is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole. You may begin, sir.
I think for a long time, many years, I addressed a lot of outside issues. I addressed, certain things, but I never addressed like the core feelings behind it. Being or a lot of trauma that I've been through, some of them is not my fault, but seeking the opportunity to get better is. I needed to, in the past, probably address a lot of things that I didn't. Again, trying to clean up the outside instead of dealing with the things that that was so prevalent in me. I didn't know how to deal with. So I think my emotional intelligence was really, really low. What I felt about myself is really, really bad. Feelings of inadequacy. Again, I just didn't deal with the stuff that my mental health. I dealt with, trying to be slick, things like that. Changing things that didn't really have a positive outcome. It was just I can't use the words right now, but yeah, I didn't address the things that were causing me the most difficulty in my life. No.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Bagley, for that opening statement. And I would agree with you, sir, that you were out there making poor decisions. Sorry, I just received an email.
You are trash.
And because you've been doing this for a really, really long time in the very same neighborhood that you've been living in for years. And I'm not understanding why you would think that you get away with this kind of thing.
So I don't think. Funny thing, I don't think I thought I would get away with it. I think that I was. So I think that my substance abuse is just that's the symptom, right? The fact that I wasn't mentally,
I think I had a lot of mental health. I didn't take care of my mental health. I didn't. I didn't. I thought that, maybe
Well, are you taking care of your mental health now, Mr. Bagley?
yes. I've done I see somebody, I've been going to counseling.
How long have you been in counseling?
A year.
In the facility?
Oh yes. Well, not the last 2.5 months, but the previous 11 and a half months. Yes.
And so what information have you gained about yourself that will help you avoid these behaviors in the future?
My emotional intelligence, like being able to sit with the feeling, right? The understanding that, okay, this is going on. I don't have to. You know what I'm saying? I only can control me. I can't control outside forces. I can't control anything anybody else does. I can only control.
But Mr. Bagley, you thought that you could control other people at 53 years old, sir?
No, I just isolated myself from people.
You isolated yourself from people?
Yeah, and yes.
So your sister, did she know that you were using drugs or abusing drugs?
I stayed away from her.
Did she know that you were abusing drugs though? You stayed away from her, but did she know that you had a drug problem?
I'm sure that she knows something was going on with me, but that's the funny thing is, people that I care about, I make sure that I don't be around them, because they don't allow that. They don't allow me to do whatever I choose, think I want to do.
Yeah. No, I understand what you're saying. It's difficult for me to believe that, if your children didn't know that you had a drug problem, your family didn't know. Well, so where do they think you were getting all this money from selling these drugs when you were out in the community?
I don't think it was a lot of money.
Well, you were using some for your own benefit, right?
I was using most of it to continue my drug habits and things like that. I don't have anything. Like I never accumulated anything of value. If I did, I squandered it. You know what I'm saying? When people got tired of, seeing me in a certain way, people got away from me. They didn't stay. Like my children are I hate to say it, and even in this sentence, I try to not be around them so much that I'm gonna do this. I just tell them, pray for me, and I'm gonna do my best. I don't want to even keep dragging them in and out of these jails. When I come here, they come here. You understand? I got my youngest is 26, and he can't tell you he can't tell you years that I've been home being a father to him.
No, you can't, because my records indicate that you started in 1988 with your criminal behaviors, and you were released out into the community after serving 13 years for selling drugs. Is that right? In 2002, you were. Go ahead.
Not continually.
Okay. So you did get 13.
Again, 13 years, yes. Collectively, yes.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying to that is,
listen to this, right. Mr. Bagley. Okay. So you were in the prison. You were released from the prison in October of 2002. After that was your 13-year sentence. You came right back in 2006 for the same thing. You got paroled. You were out on parole for 19 months or so, and you came right back in because you got a new charge in New York. And then you came back with a weapons charge back in 2020. And, and actually I was on that panel that we denied your discretionary parole the last time. And I just don't understand why the revolving door. You talked about your children and them not knowing you to be out of prison for long periods of time. And I see why, because you're doing life in installments, sir.
Wow, I'm glad you hit nail head on. I am. I'm doing life for the installments, but this it stops today. I hear you, but it stops today. I've done a lot of work. I've taken my own initiative to do better, to want better, to experience better, to be better, to be kind. I do a lot of things in my community, in here as well.
I just don't understand how at 53 years old now, you're just now coming to this realization. How is it that you cannot get tickets in the facility, but you come right out and start using drugs?
Because I didn't know, again, not addressing
Turn it
things.
down just a little bit. Sorry, it's so loud.
Sorry. All right, so again, not addressing the problem.
Can you hear okay?
The problem is me. It's not, and I can't, the stuff that I do, right? Even if I came to somebody and try to have the healthy relationship, right? Previous to now, I couldn't pass a checklist. I wasn't trustworthy, so I couldn't be trusted. All those things, it matters. It matters. So now what I have now is transferable. I'm marketable. I have a reason to be wanting to come home now, even though I'm paralyzed on my right side. I don't want to accept SSI. I want to go home and work with CCAR. I really do. I think that I know this stuff, right? So now I could go home and I can be of assistance in my community and feel good about myself. I never really felt adequate. You understand? And I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying I always felt like I had to aggressively chase something that the people that I was trying to prove something to, they don't matter.
They don't even matter.
They don't matter.
The short version of your long story is that you are a child in a grown man's body.
For the most part, and up until recently, yes.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit more about your performance when you've been out in the community. So this would be your 10th or your 11th opportunity out on supervision.
You are trash.
Should you be granted parole today? You do have probation to follow your sentence. So regardless of whether or not you're granted parole, you will have an 11th opportunity. How many of these 10 times do you think that you were successful out in the community?
I think maybe once.
You're close. You're close. I mean, the officer counted 3 successful.
Okay, I misunderstood you. But
you failed 7 of them. Please understand, you failed 7 times. You have at least 7 violations of probation.
Okay, not completing. I didn't understand your question, is what I'm saying. I thought you said, like, as far as how I felt about my performance outside, but now I understand what the question was.
And you keep coming back with more charges, though, sir. So they give you an opportunity, you go out and you come right back in. It doesn't bode well for us who are looking at your criminal history, the length of time. So, okay, here's long and short. You've been committing crimes since 1988. You've had 10 opportunities, failed 7. At 53 years old, you rate out high in terms of risk to recidivate. You overall have accumulated 14 disciplinary infractions throughout your total periods of incarceration. This is the first time that you have not had any. You've taken similar programs that you've taken now during prior incarcerations.
I've never had CCAR a chance to have.
CCAR is new.
But that's a chance for me to have a career. You understand? This is totally different from times where I gotta go home and don't feel that. This is something that I know. And I could come home and plug that right into a career. At 53 years old, I can make myself a beacon of light. I could change this thing around, and I know I can, and I will.
Well, I hope that you're being, I hope that you're successful, Mr. Bagley. I really, really do. But in terms of us as parole board members and figuring out whether we believe that you're suitable for early release, or it's very difficult. I can't even talk. Oh my God. It's very difficult to say that you are suitable based on your history, sir, is what I'm trying to say to you. Like, I hear the CCAR is motivating for you, that you want to get out now and give back, but you haven't been able to do that in the past. And I'm not sure that there's anything that you can say to us today that would change our minds about this time is so different. This time is going to be so different. You know what I mean? And it's not because we don't see that you've done the work, sir. We've seen that you've done these programs, but you also have done similarly in the past. So it's very difficult to say, okay, this is the chance he needs, you know, when you haven't been able to prove it in the past. That's all that I'm trying to say to you. A big stretch.
I'm not understanding of that. Okay, I do understand what you're saying. I know a lot of people in my life have walked away because they say, you know what, it's just the risk is too high. But what I'm saying is, I can't walk away on me. So I'm going to do what I need to do, and because I need to do it, not because I appreciate your words. But I need to do this. I need to do this because I don't want to, and not to go out on a certain way, but I want to have a legacy that somebody can say, that's my father. Yeah. That's my brother.
Guess what? We want the same thing for you, Mr. Bagley. We want you to be successful. We want you to be successful.
And I want to,
we don't need the business in that facility. You see all those people there in those prisons. That's where people go when they cannot obey the law. We don't need the business. There's enough people in there. Okay.
I understand. I do. I understand what you're saying, and I totally understand what you're saying. And you can't say it more than times I'll kick myself in the tail. You understand what I'm saying? This is something that I speak, like, I gotta go to sleep and wake up with the same thing every day.
Yeah, you do.
And this is my. I can't even. I want to be mad at you, but that's the truth. You only speaking the truth, right? So in that I have to do better, right?
Yeah,
but
you do.
Not because you say it.
Exactly.
But because I need it.
You want to do that.
Because I need it for me.
Yeah.
I needed to be adequate to say, to put when I want to put my name in the hat. I want a solid chance that somebody could pull my name out. Right. So not because I might be in favor, right?
Yeah.
Because of because I've done the work. You understand? And that's what I'm doing. I'm doing the work. I'm trying to put one foot in front of the next one. I can't tell you what I did before. I just said I screwed that up. But I can tell you now, right now. And if you look at my name, and that's my mother used to always tell me, if you put your name on top of that paper, it better be your best work. I'm doing my best work.
No parole for tape.
I would start by not driving without a license. That's where I would start there, and then no drugs, and hopefully we'll have a better chance. I'm
gonna stay home. I know I'm gonna stay home.
Okay. All right, Ms. Turner.
Mr. Bagley, when did you get the requirement for the interlock device?
November of that year of the accident. So like I got 3 months left.
You got it as a result of the accident?
No, so I had
November of 2020.
So I had the year of the accident, I think that's 22.
2022.
Right. That November.
The November before, because you were.
No, the November after.
When you caused the crash, you were supposed to have the interlock device and you didn't.
Right. I didn't have a car, so I didn't have the internet. In November.
But just because you didn't have Okay,
So-
before it. So you had it in November 2021. You were supposed to have the interlock device. Why?
No, I swear I had it in March. I swear I had it in March, right, of 21. I mean 22.
Okay,
March of 22.
now it changes. Okay.
Okay, so then
Why?
I didn't get it until November of 22.
Which
You
is
understand?
absurd that you were still driving. Why were you supposed to have it in March of 2022? What'd you do?
Because I had a OUI that got dismissed. It had got dismissed, but still.
You
it's
took
still-
alcohol education?
So I had a situation from the casino. I did the 10 classes and I did the VIP. The case got dismissed, but it still required me to have the machine. You understand?
All right.
So
Why would you drive a vehicle without it?
If you are an alcoholic or were an alcoholic, you are an alcoholic today.
I'm gonna say foolish, being foolish.
Okay.
And almost
Stupid,
right.
Foolish. We know
You
foolish.
know what? The stupid is probably a better word.
Hold on. I want you to slow down because I'm asking the questions, okay?
Okay, sorry.
And you're getting ahead of me before I can even finish my question.
Okay.
All right. So I'm looking at the arrest warrant for the charge, the evading charge you're on now. Who picked you up? Who did you call to have pick you up from the accident scene?
I left with the tow truck driver.
You are trash.
No, you didn't.
What happened?
No, you didn't.
I didn't?
There was a car that pulled up and picked you up from the accident scene before the police even finished interviewing you. That's how you got the evading charge.
But I did make contact with the officer, didn't I? I'm trying to, because I don't remember that whole situation there.
Okay, well, you rear-ended a car that was
Yes, I did
disabled in
that.
the right-hand lane,
Yes.
caused you to cross into the left-hand lane and sideswipe another car.
Okay.
Okay, the police arrive, they call for 2 tow trucks, and they turn around and you're gone. Because you had a car pull up and take you away from the scene. Was that because you were driving impaired?
No.
Okay.
The reason that okay, now I got it. The reason that I left because I didn't have the machine. I didn't have the machine.
Whose car was it?
That was a friend of mine that's not my friend anymore.
Oh, I'm sure they don't consider you a friend.
I'm being no.
I'm sure they don't. Okay, I'm just going to say this to you, Mr. Bagley. You've been approved by DOC for halfway house placement. I know you want to go live with your sister in Bridgeport. There were 6 convictions for driving on a suspended license from 1988 to 2022. Yeah, You're looking like you've never heard this.
For driving under the influence?
No, driving on a suspended license.
Okay, yes. I thought I didn't hear that.
You're telling me that for a 24-year period, you never had a valid license.
I
So
did.
you have no intention of
I
abiding
did have
by
my license.
our society.
I did have my
I'm
license.
not voting to grant you parole today. You have DOC can put you in a halfway house and then you can go live with your sister and do your 3 years probation. But you, sir, are a risk to public safety. Thank you, madam.
But so I can I say that I did have a driver's license. I did have a valid license. Sorry.
Thank
But
you.
not at the time.
Thank you, Ms. Turner. Ms. Zappa?
Yes, Mr. Bagley, I just have one question. In terms of the programming that you took, Tier 2 and the addictive lifestyles, and then having access to CCAR, so are those the motivations that you're referencing about wanting to go forward and have a career with CCAR to help others? What about those programs motivated you during this incarceration?
Well, first I entered the change unit first, and when I entered the change unit, I was put into where I could get some counseling. And then when I started having the counseling, it kind of opened my eyes and some other doors to some more stuff. That's how I got into lifestyles. Lifestyles was a way to understand that all the stuff that I was involved in, like I can sell cars. I don't have to sell drugs. I can do other things, right? So and I started to see that I could do this. Like I don't know. Like I just not, and I'm not saying that I never seen another success story in my life. I'm not saying that. My brother played in the NBA. You understand? But I again, I was shot in the head at 13. I was shot in the face. Like so, I did have some trauma there, but I just kind of didn't want to address this stuff. So when I started addressing stuff and start having somebody take a minute and say, listen, we can talk about that. And I did. I started dumping this stuff. And when I started dumping stuff, I started feeling lighter. I started feeling better about myself. I started feeling like I could do some stuff. And then C-Car was later on. Then they said, you know, you don't have to know all the answers. You know, all you got to do is ask the right questions and things like that. And then I was like, wow. So when I did that, and then the professional part came to me. They said, you know, you can make a living out of this, bro. And, you know, then I did the ethics and considerations, and now I have only the professional part to do. And I'm going to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, it's just, it seems like I was rehearsing for this thing all my life. It's like life's credits. And this is what I could do. I know I could do this. I know I could do this. I know I could do it. And I know I'm going to do it. Like, it's not contingent on anything. I'm going to do it because I'm going to do it. I'm doing it for myself.
Okay. Well, there's a saying that I think sums up a lot here, and it's people who ignore history are doomed to repeat it. And you know, you have 53 years under your belt, but only you can decide what the next 50 years look like, Mr. Bagley.
If that, like, you know, maybe 20 I got left. I didn't take care of myself. I you know, like all together, collectively, I didn't take care of myself. Like I didn't eat apples and drink water. You know, I'm using drugs and you know, so I mean, getting shot, being in places that people get shot at, right? I didn't get shot at the church. I got shot at a you know, in hallways and places that seedy things happen in CDP. You understand what I'm saying? I understand that, but at the time that these things would happen, no, I had no clue. I would say that I was a victim. You know, I got shot because, you know, but then I find out, like, if you wasn't there, right? If you don't go where they need guns at, then you don't get shot, right? So then, like, if people could say that whatever, you should know better. But I didn't know better for a long time. You know, I thought I had something to prove with bravado. Like, I'm from Father Panic Village, you know, you know, those conversations, you know, but other people was having different conversations. I wasn't going and moving towards those conversations. I was moving where I thought I needed the bravado. Like, I mean, I thought that was going to take me. And then when I try to make it transferable to people that had sense, that cared about things. And I said, well, you know, why you say that? Because, you know, I felt like they was challenging me, and they were, but they wasn't challenging me in the way that they was challenging me to do better. And now,
yes. I do want to note that in his, between the rap sheet and the arrest warrant, Mr. Bagley had one other occasion where he was operating without an interlock device and two previous evading responsibility charges that make up the complete picture here, you know, because the 7 failures, you know, they were also coming back on technical violations of parole and escaping. So,
What you talking about, like in 1990?
What are you talking about in 1990?
She said escape, and that happened in 1990.
you remember that? That's great.
No, because I was reminded of that just recently when we did a level thing, and it was like, well, you had that.
Oh,
In 1990.
okay.
And that was
That makes-
right before.
that makes sense. All right.
All right, so, I'm sorry. Okay, thank you. So, Mr. Bagley, we're done with our questions for you. I think that we've all expressed our concerns. We're happy to hear that you have a change of heart and that you really do want to do better, because you're only harming yourself. So, you don't have to speak anymore. We're all done with our questions. We're going to deliberate and we'll give you our decision shortly, okay? So, for me, I cannot support Mr. Bagley's discretionary parole. I think that I've explained to him what we're working with here is rating high, his failed community releases, and his overall his criminal history is dating back for years. It's too much to support parole. So it's a denial for me. Ms. Turner, I heard you say that it's a denial for you.
Yes.
Ms. Backel.
I actually am going to vote in favor.
You are trash, Lindsay. You are trash.
I do believe that there are moments in time where people realize what they're doing. And I think that Mr. Bagley is there. And I know that it's not going to result in him being granted discretionary parole, but I do want to let him know that I heard him. I listened, and I do believe that you do have a future. And I want you to leave here today with the encouragement, knowing that we are here and we hope for the best for you as you move forward. So I will be voting yes, even though it is not going to change your outcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Backel. So with regard to Sean Bagley, 168462, I move to deny discretionary parole based on your criminal history, your poor performance out on community supervision, and what else did I say?
No parole for tape.
Is there
Nature and
anything?
circumstances.
Nature and circumstance of the offense. Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
None.
All those opposed?
No,
So the record will reflect that Ms. Apple is in favor of your discretionary parole. So we wish you the best. You'll get this in writing shortly, all right?
No parole for tape. None. Mr. Tate is not getting parole
Because of drinking and driving issues? I wouldn't say it's because of anger issues. And I have to tell you, the first more than even, I think half of the hearing, and maybe it's because I'm in a good mood, I actually liked him. I don't know, I might watch it a second time and have a different opinion, but I thought maybe he's tired, maybe, he has a long record, but he's ready to but then the way, man, this parole board, they can be savages sometimes. It was Turner, I think. So you had Zapo Sasu, you had Barry and Turner, and I think it's Turner. She can come in like a pit bull, like a bull, and she just gets in there and won't let go. And she's like, keeps unpacking more and more and more. And it's interesting because we don't really see this. And what Holly shows, there's, a 2016 risk of injury to child. They don't mention that. I wonder what that was. Disorderly conduct, sale of narcotics in 2017, 2018, violation of condition of release, 2022, which is a good. We don't have everything else. Maybe that's because it happened more than 10 years ago. The most evade with risk of injury or property damage. I wonder, I bet he wasn't talking. That's a kind of a slick move. It's like, oh, I'm at the scene of the accident. They call the two tow trucks. Say, hey, buddy, can you pick me up? And the cops are like distracted, and you get in the car and you're gone. And it's like, you get risk. He ended up getting prison for it, but it's better than being intoxicated. But no, it's dangerous. You got to have a feeling that, and you can't feel bad for someone. Remember, this is a recent crime. You have a long record. You keep getting, and then you're going to get into the car intoxicated, which we don't know. There's no proof of it, but that's the assumption. Why else would you bounce? I mean, he was driving without the interlock device, but already the damage is done, right? Like, there's only a benefit to leave the scene if you are calculating about it and know that you're really going to get screwed. So you might as well not get the intoxication charge. Although, I mean, they ended up getting them for other stuff. But the way that this parole board, the way that the hearing unraveled, it really did. It just unraveled. It was quite an interesting hearing. And for one thing, his brother being an NBA player, my ChatGPT showed nothing. Two names in Connecticut with that played, and one of them who's still active player has only two younger brothers. It doesn't really add that. It just doesn't add up. I don't know. I wonder if he's a pathological liar, an expert liar, a con. It's just, it didn't go well, but it certainly is interesting. We've seen so many different types of hearings. Also, forgive me, I don't know if I put in way too many Lindsays and mic drops and laughter. I literally am watching this in real time, and if I laugh out loud, I throw in the laughter. If I think it's a moment, I drop. Sometimes, I'm sitting here watching it for the first time. Oh man, but we saw, I think, there is a big, it ended up working out. You see the young dealer who came in before, and you got a certain sense of maturity and honesty and authenticity and hopefulness. And you saw here a man that I don't know, and then you had one of the parole board members who said, I think he is changed. That was Zapo Sasso. She's a relatively new member. She's been around less than a year. And, was she saying it because she knew it wouldn't make a difference and she was trying to give him hope? Maybe. He took it gracefully, the vote of confidence in him. But no, it played like he was trying to be manipulative the whole time. And it just failed. He failed miserably. He went down like what's the word I'm looking for? Just like a ton of bricks. And there you have it. That's it. That's all. We've been here quite some time, so thank you for being here. And with that, I'll let you go.
I look at my older brother and he has a great career. Yeah, he's tired, but he has a big house, nice car. His family's happy, married. And I realized I could do the same thing.
I gotta go to sleep and wake up with the same thing every day.
Yeah, you do.
And this is my. I can't even. I want to be mad at you, but that's the truth. You only speaking the truth, right? So in that and that, I have to do better, right?
Yeah,
but
you do.
Not because you say it.
Exactly.
But because I need it.
You want to do that.
Because I need it for me.
Yeah.
I told my brother, I said, bro, only thing I want right now, if I make parole, only thing I want right now is I want some Applebee's.